This is Will Buchanan on The Walk for Liberty.
Today is September 7th, 2008, day 127.
I discovered after I finished my video yesterday that the factory I had been showing actually was an ethanol factory.
This one actually has a similar smell to the one from yesterday, so I'm assuming it is as well. It almost smells kind of like sourdough bread. Aberdeen's the largest town I've walked through in quite a while. Yesterday in the car, Brooke had been listening to the show Car Talk on National Public Radio.
National Public Radio. Isn't that a bit socialist sounding?
NPR is a quasi-government company.
Note that I say quasi-government because even though it is a separate company, it receives substantial government funding, so it does not respond fully to market signals.
NPR's mission is to produce and distribute news and cultural programming. Why is it, though, that the government should be providing, or at least subsidizing, news and cultural programming? Do you want the government subsidizing your news?
As for me, I don't want the government anywhere near my news. That's why when I consciously go out and get news, I generally get it from Free Talk Live.
One thing I find interesting is that in a 2005 Harris poll, NPR was voted the most trusted news source in the country, and that many of its listeners consider it to be at the pinnacle of journalistic integrity. And it may well be that NPR provides a fair and unbiased news product. And clearly, it's providing a product which its listeners really enjoy. So there is indeed a demand for its product.
So if that's the case, why can't it stand on its own 2 feet and kick its government habit?
It's because obviously they have no desire nor incentive to. They like the government money. Their level of funding from the government has been decreasing over the years. So why not just go all the way and get rid of the government funding completely? There have got to be all kinds of strings attached to receiving that government money, a myriad of bureaucratic regulations to follow, and reams of paperwork to fill out, all of which detract from their bottom line. Companies have to downsize all the time due to budgetary reasons, and they often end up with a more efficient, streamlined organization after the fact. There's no reason why NPR couldn't end up with an even better product after the government funding is gotten rid of. And it already has substantial corporate sponsorship. Perhaps some of them would step up and fill the gap if the government funding went away.
There's one thing that irks me in particular about the government subsidizing NPR, though.
And that is that the vast majority of its listenership is white, and its average listener is 50 years old and has an annual income of $78,000.
So it turns out that the government subsidy of NPR
is actually welfare for upper middle class people. It's time to cut NPR off from the government
and let it stand on its own as a truly independent news source.
Yuka's just back from a little trip, so this is her first meeting with Jake.
By the way, at the end of my walk, Jackie from the Aberdeen American News came out to interview me, so we should have another newspaper article on Tuesday, September 9th.
I walked 20 1/3 miles today. Here's my GPS location. This is Will Buchanan for blog.walkforliberty.com, signing off. Doesn't look like they're growing wheat here to me.
Watch yesterday's day 126 video to find out why that matters.